You are now listening to It's the Social Media by the Plus Money.
Hi, Shamika.
Hi.
Welcome to my show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. Okay, so welcome back, guys. It is your girl, the Plush Mommy. I am Plush and I'm a mommy. That is why I have that name. I have a special guest on the show today. It is Shamika George, aka Fro Plus Fashion, as seen in InStyle magazine. As seen in, I forgot what you have a lot of other features, but I know InStyle magazine because that's where I saw you first.
Tallahassee Magazine. I think I was in Cosmopolitan, but that was just like a shady tweet. That was about it.
You got featured in Cosmo for your tweets. That's a big deal. Regardless. So before we continue, I would love to hear more about yourself. Tell the people who you are and where you're from and a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so as she said, my name is Shamika George. I'm originally from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. I am the founder and creator of Fro Plus Fashion, where I encourage women to embrace their curves and their natural hair with style, all while having the underlying objective as just serving as representation that I want to see in the plus size community as well as the natural hair community, which is, just more women that look like me, dark skinned, texture, natural hair, and all of that jazz.
Okay, so first of all, I guess I want to know, how did you get started? Because a lot of people want to become influencers because they think it's cool and fancy and then they don't know. And I want to know, what was it that got you started in this entire industry in the first place?
Well, I initially started probably in my 20s when shortly before I had my son, I was getting to the age where it's you're getting kind of old for your mom to still be doing your natural hair. So I kind of started to explore taking care of my own natural hair. And then I also wanted to be able to put in my own protective styles and stuff like that. So I started exploring YouTube videos and doing it on my own. And I initially started just sharing pictures of my styles on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page. And as the natural hair movement gained momentum and YouTube and all of these other social media platforms came out, I was inspired by other bloggers. I don't even think influencer was a word at the time when YouTube and anything came out. So that's basically what inspired me. It was just something that I was doing already, exploring my natural hair. And then as just time progressed, I also got into fashion and sharing what I was wearing, and I got into thrifting and started sharing that as well. And somewhere along the line, I started hearing conversations about naturalistas with my particular hair texture not getting as much love and not getting as much representation as some of, the looser curl textures and stuff like that. And then on the plus size community spectrum, it was the same thing. There's not a lot of representation of dark-skinned Black women that look like me in the plus size community. And as you get into plus size women with my hair texture, it's even more few and far between. And so the general consensus was that, there's no space for somebody that looks like me.
Mm.
I just kind of took that sentiment and said, I'm going to rebrand, because I initially had my blog named Love Mika. I really didn't know what I was doing with it, but I just knew that the content that I was putting out was from love and a space of love. So that's why I kind of call it Love Mika. But because of this sentiment and me accepting the challenge of existing anyways, regardless of what anybody felt, I rebranded into Fro Plus Fashion.
I found you a long time ago, when I wasn't trying to do this at all. I found, first person I ever found in my entire world was Gabby Fresh. I know a big girl could even be on the camera and be seen by multiple people. Right. And then after I was like, oh, people like could dress like this and this is good.
Right.
Good. So I started following her, and then I just went on this follow spree as soon as I got on Instagram, and I got on Instagram late. I'm a late to social media person. Mm-hmm. So every time a new platform pops up, I'm like 3-4 months later.
Late to the game.
Always late to the game. So I got to Instagram. Everyone's popping on Instagram, and she was on there, and everyone else. But I didn't find you. I believe it was after my first CurvyCon 2 years ago, and I saw you in that black and white checkered outfit with the yellow accessories, and I said, "Who is this lady?" And it was nuts. I was like, "Oh my god!" I kid you not. I went home. I told my mom. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I think I met you at CurvyCon. I met a lot of people at CurvyCon because a lot of people I've connected with from CurvyCon has now like become people I tweet all the time as if we're like just best gal friends. And this is what I love about social media, because I'm thinking like you're so fancy and celebrity, you ain't finna talk to me, and you're just like, hey.
I'm not that type. I'm super friendly. Like I might have a rest in B face.
Girl.
But the minute that you walk up to me and you like stimulate me with conversation, like I'm a whole completely different person.
I think what drew me to you as pre working into the, because before when I was going to things like this, I just did bridal. Mm-hmm. I wasn't into the fashion stuff because I didn't feel like my style was needed to be seen. Because again, same thing, like they were telling you, like there's no space for you here. It's saturated. There's all these types of women. And so I was drawn to you because natural hair, big girls who were darker skinned isn't a thing. And I was like, I'm finally seeing more representation of what I do. Because at the time I wore my hair in its full out fro all the time. And I was able to get basically both of the content that I look for online in one person. Exactly. So I just want you to know you out here making changes and differences in people's lives. Right. So just want to make sure that was said on air and everything. I want to make sure you knew, because that's how I got you. And then I was like, she could style her clothes better than me. She good, chat.
I'm doing a good job, because that's really what it is for me. I know that if I'm seeking that kind of content and I want to be able to get that kind of content and still have that person resonate with me because they look like me, I know I'm not the only person in the world that feels like that. And, one of my big things is to be the change that you want to see. So if I'm frustrated with not being able to see people look like me, and I'm already on my own naturally sharing content on my personal Facebook page, why not take it to Instagram, and why not take it to my blog,
That's honestly, and I think it's between you and a lot of the women I met at that conference is how I was able to get comfortable putting myself out there, because of that exact reason. Because I felt like, well, if I'm going to post this here, I might as well post this here, because I kept getting told, you should blog. And I'm like, man, ain't nobody trying to do all that. I was working in marketing at a news. I was like, ain't nobody doing all that. I don't want to blog. That's ridiculous. But then I realized I didn't have to. I could just post my outfits. Like I didn't have to do that. And I think it was helpful to see that representation, because everyone is through this process. And that's the next question. It's through this process is how I learned how the body type is like different for every woman.
Right.
And so like what I'm showcasing may not be what you're showcasing, may not be what the next woman's showcasing. And all of us have a space here. So whomever tells you don't have a space here, you can have 14 different types of bread. So why can't you have 14 different types of plus size women, on the people damn Instagram? So my next question, of course, would be, as you are now, where you are now, because you are an influencer. I don't know if you knew that, but where you are now, what is life like for you as an influencer? Like, what's a day in the life like for you?
Well, the day in the life with COVID looks significantly different from the day in the life pre-COVID. So I guess I'll just talk about now. Like I mentioned, I'm a 9-to-5 mom. I'm also a special needs mom. My son is on the autism spectrum, so he has like an individual education plan, and I've opted for him to stay home and learn at home. So in addition to being a 9 to 5 or working remotely, I have my son right next to me, coaching him on with the schoolwork that he needs to do because, a lot of it involves keeping him on task with paying attention and, breaking down a lot of the information that he's getting in a way that's digestible to him. So I'm balancing my 9 to 5, his, and then any extra time that I have, especially on the weekends, is 100% dedicated to the influencer aspect of my life. So I have to be very strategic about what I want to put out and what I'm spending my time on. So a lot of times on weekends, um, I'm shooting anywhere between 6 to 12 looks in a session.
I gotta ask you a
Not
question.
in one session. So like 6 looks in 1 hour, basically.
I've done 2 photo shoots. All total. 2. I did 3 looks and I said I quit. I want to know, what do you do to get yourself in and out of these clothes? And I know you sweating because you big like me, so I know this is hard. How do you keep yourself motivated to keep changing your clothes with these? I can't. I have to shoot next Saturday. I swear to God.
Coffee definitely helps.
I sat there, I did these looks, and I'm like, whoo. I had 2 more looking at me, and I'm like, I think this is enough. I can, and I'm riding them looks out to this day, a year later.
Right. Yeah. Like, the huge thing about social media is you have to be consistent. You can easily fall off, like if you miss a few days. So knowing if I don't have time to shoot every single day and I don't have time to be witty and come up with a caption every single day just before I'm about to post, I have to kind of do things in advance. So I shop. I'm always shopping and thinking about different ways to style things, and then I'll just accumulate a batch of clothing, and then I'll just schedule out my shoots with Dre, my photographer. And then we would just shoot for an hour. And of course, it's in Florida. We're in Florida, so it's like hella hot, hella humid. So I try to like real early in the morning. I try not to go beyond 10 o'clock. And if it's in the afternoon, probably anywhere between, I'd say 6:30 to 7:30. And I just do that. I just try to stay ahead of myself. And that way, if I'm like shooting 6 looks in a session and I'm doing that once or twice a weekend, like I'm always, I always have enough content to just move forward and be consistent with.
Do you feel like because your content isn't always new, like the new, like the brand new, whatever, look, the new thing, whatever. Like, I like what you do with the thrifting, because you style. I used to thrift, and I used to be finding the outfits in the thrift store. Mm-hmm. But thrifting also requires me to do the thing I hate about shopping, which is to like shop. I don't like having to go through and like look and search. I want to go in and get the blue shirt I came for and go home. And I think that's the thing. Like, I love thrifting because it's like what I found and no one else has it. But at the same time, it's like, it took me 2 hours to find this shirt. So how do you balance that part? Like in your looks and your shoots and in the things you go and you thrift throughout like the week, and then you just say, this is all the outfits I'm going to plan? Or
yeah, so the trade-off with not having things that are current, and even if like I buy something from a department store, by the time I get around to putting out the content, it's probably already sold out, right? So I have to find a way to still bring value to the images and to the blog posts. And what I do is provide styling tips. So even if that particular item is sold out, I still include the images in my blog post, and I also reference other similar items that might be available, and just provide value in the sense of giving my readers information as to how to style things that they might already have in their closet, something they're thinking about buying, and just providing options for them to explore through my blog.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, I'm just all kinds of inspired. I'm doing a photo shoot today. It's gonna happen. No, it's not. Oh, I'm getting a couch. What is your favorite part about what you do? Like of all the things that you, because you do a lot. So which one is your favorite?
Definitely the photo shoots.
Really?
Yeah, I love taking the pictures. I love seeing the outfits. Sometimes I feel like I have a That's So Raven vision.
Do you do the face?
I'm like I am holding the item and like blank staring, but I'm seeing like 3 or 4 different looks as I'm just looking at this thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be good for this exact spot. And what's really great is that I have such a good working relationship with my photographer. Um, I've been working for him for 2 years now, and sometimes I literally just send pictures of an outfit. He sent me pictures of a location, and I'm like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. But I just like the whole creative aspect of finding an outfit or basically coming up with an idea for a blog post and then looking for the outfit, finding the location, and of course, being extra and hitting those poses, like
Be hitting
all
them.
those days of watching America's Next Top Model growing up. That's coming in handy now.
I me too. I try to keep moving because I remember Tyra said you have to keep moving. So I'm like, yeah, move, keep moving. Look, open your eyes, relax your face, smiles, all of that. I be trying. I try so hard. I think about all of that all at the same time. I'm like, man, this is hard.
Right.
It's hard. Okay, so then yeah, the photography is fun. I'm not. I don't. Mm, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. If I could teleport into the outfit and like if there was also always in air conditioned areas, that probably would be better.
Right.
And like a changing room. I don't know. I think it's just having to change my clothes. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know who I am anymore. Anyway, but so where do you see yourself? Like, where do you see this moving to? Where do you want this to go to? Like, what's the goal or the next steps, or how do you want this to pan out?
Yeah, I just have the goal. I feel like blogging and content creation has just been like a creative outlet for me. It's things that I would naturally be doing, and I just find ways to align the things that pop up in my life with creating content that might resonate with my followers. So I would just like to continue to be able to live my life basically and align brands, in partnerships and different things like that with the brands that I've already been using naturally, and just continue to align brands and different things like that with the life that I live.
How do you see, like, for a person who hasn't done this before, because a lot of people try to start and working in social media, I'm learning that people love to just start stuff in social media and be like, this is so easy. I'm just going to post some pictures and it's going to be so fine. It's going to be easy. And then they go and they buy like the $10,000 camera and they get the microphone and the computer and the editing software and they book photographers, and they realize in order to maintain that kind of consistency with that much investment, you have to have that money all the time. So how do you talk to the girl who has just her iPhone and or Android, whatever, people, you don't have to yell at me, and because I know I'm gonna get the comments, and they only have maybe a laptop and some good outfits in their closet, and they ain't got nothing else. They're not going to the next shop, store, or nothing. What do you say to those people who want to start, and how do they get themselves online consistently and also seen and grow?
Yeah, I would definitely say to just start. It's easy to fall in, like you said, the trap of comparing yourself to what somebody has been doing for a minute and feeling like you need to have all of this equipment and you need to have a whole team on board. Like you're just starting out. So just start with what you have. If you have an iPhone, learn all of your settings in your iPhone. If it's an Android, learn all the settings that you have in your Android. YouTube has a wealth of information on how to
Do anything.
and basically anything, change a sink, a toilet, everything.
YouTube University.
Everything is on YouTube. Okay, I've learned so much just off of YouTube alone. So definitely explore YouTube, Google. Get into community pages on Facebook that create speak about the different things that you need help with in terms of creating your content. And you just have to fine tune your routine with what your lifestyle is. So if you are working from Monday to Friday, just understand that there's going to be some sacrifice on the weekends to make sure you get that content out. And yeah, you have to make sacrifice. So one of my sacrifices, because I work from Monday to Friday 9 to 5, is, like, I have to dedicate my weekends to getting those photos out, getting those blog posts out. Even on my lunch breaks, I can take an hour and a lunch break and probably whip up 1 or 2 blog posts and then worry about the photos later. Like, every single moment where you have free time, you need to be using that valuably, So yeah.
Tell the people, like, and the thing is, I say, I've been doing this podcast for a year, and I believe every single time I do this podcast, and every single time I have somebody on the show, I've had a hairstylist on my show, I've had social media people, I've had other podcasters, now a blogger, and every person who's been on the show literally said, you have to sacrifice, you have to it's consistency, and you have to be committed. If you're not committed, if this isn't what you really want, you have to know your why. I think I had a whole show about your why. You gotta know why you're doing this, because if it's just so you can get the fame and fortune and the free clothes, baby girl, you ain't gotta do all that. You could just, OnlyFans is so much easier. Like, I'm just saying,
serious, but that's what it seems like it looks like.
Like, and even OnlyFans has the same level of commitment and consistency. Like, now, like, everyone has to do some kind of work to get what they want. Because I thought the same thing. I started because I thought I was good at social media. So let me just do something I want to show people about bridal. Child, I was like, I cannot record. YouTube takes work. I am recording this. I recorded the Get Ready With Me. I now am learning that TikTok is a really great way to repurpose your content so that you can move on and continue consistency while also putting over, everything else. But it just, and then you got to put the face on, and it's just so much stuff that goes into it. I don't think I feel like people always get like, they like to romanticize things and they like to glamorize the lifestyle because you see the house tours, you see the finished product, you don't see the beginning. You don't watch a lot of these bloggers or influencers from their start. You know what I mean? So you didn't see what they put in behind the scenes. What we see is beautiful photography, beautiful artwork, and beautiful pictures. Yeah. And even me, I'm like, I remember watching your pictures. I'm like, she only has, I remember, dude, just like this. She only has the nice quality pictures on. So how am I supposed to do this? And then I realized I have to sit. My photographer's sitting there waiting on me. Poor Marino. He's he's sick of my shit. He's sitting there waiting on me. He's like, yo, we supposed to have our photo shoot, bro. What's going on? Like, we've had like 5 shoots already canceled, done. Because I'm so focused, I have another and the same thing, you have 9 to 5, but because I have a company, I don't have a 9 to 5, I'm an entrepreneur. My weekends are also going towards that. And it's like, if you have something that takes up a lot of time and you want to do this, whatever other time you have, just know, this is it. We're recording this on a Saturday afternoon, at 1 o'clock. And I gotta edit this out Saturday evening, and then tomorrow live stream my clients, and then the next night edit video. And that is what I have to do. Somewhere in there, go on a date and feed my child, because legally I'm required to do so.
What is a nap?
I wanted a nap for Christmas for about 5 years now. I have yet to get that Christmas present, but one of these days I'm gonna get it, because I somehow The child, she gonna come back and she's gonna say she's hungry. I'm gonna have to feed her. I have to do stuff. And we also have virtual school. And so she got to stay over there with the virtual school. I'm back here. It's a lot of work. But I also learned that with that hard work, it always pays off. But I think what people don't have is patience.
Right.
The big thing is that they want that payoff to happen now. Because
Right.
they see, they think other people, because this person had it faster. You don't know what happened for them to get it done so quickly. Because I'm pretty sure when you first got featured in InStyle, like, how was that for you? Like, when you saw that New York Fashion Week feature, because, I mean, to this day, you're on my Pinterest page. You show up almost every time I'm, like, swiping through, and you show up as an inspo post almost every other minute. Someone has posted your outfit to this day.
Yeah, it felt really great. First off, the photographer that shot me, she is still my dream New York photographer, Lydia Hudgens. So I thank her so much. Yes. So yeah, I was really excited about it, and it was actually the first time that I went to New York, the first time that I went to New York Fashion Week and did anything remotely like that. So, to just be able to see myself on a platform like that is just like you're on your way, you're doing this for a reason, everything is for a reason, and to just keep going. And I'm thinking about people that are actually looking on this platform that look like me, and knowing the impact that it has on them, because I know when I see other people that look like me that are a bit more on a higher level than me, how it makes me feel to see somebody that looks like me. So it just makes me feel proud to know that I'm having that impact on other people as well.
Impact is a good word, because I also noticed that with the advent of blogging, plus size fashion in general, and just the amount of influencers that have come up in the game, the industry has taken notice, and our fashion choices have become much more available, I want to say. I mean, it's still, they're still giving us potato sacks, but sometimes we get, cute little piece here or there. What do you think is the reason for that? Do you think it's all because of the influencers? Or do you think it's something else that was added to that?
I think it's actually definitely influencers, in addition to just the evolution of social media, because there was a point in time we only got our inspiration from like magazines and TV ads, which were basically being given to us by paid actors and celebrities. And with influencers coming into the game with social media, we are actually able to connect with people that are more relatable, people that look like us, and people that don't necessarily have to fine tune or censor what they say because they're everyday people. So, just being able to connect and reach out to influencers and ask them questions, and to hear their personal stories and have their stories resonate with us in terms of like body confidence and what we're struggling with our hair, or whatever realm we're in as an influencer. I just feel like that is what has amplified so many of these different spaces, including the plus size fashion space.
You're right. I agree. With your, I know you already told us how you manage your social media presence each day, and then with the personal brand of Fro Plus Fashion, I talk a lot about personal branding. How important is that to you in your industry and what you do? Because that's, I think, because I don't even see as much of the natural hair stuff as you used to do, right? Are you moving away from that now, or are you just?
Actually not. I literally just filmed a natural hair for See Hair Wash Day. That's what this is. Some new products that just came out from a Black-owned business. So I am exploring getting into that. I kind of took a step back for it, because for me, if I have to do the same thing over and over and not explore anything else, it kind of gets boring for me. So sometimes I take a step back and explore other things, and then I fall right back into it, especially if it's something that I'm really genuinely interested in. So these products that came up, I definitely was intrigued by. So that content is still there. And, the content that I've done years ago on YouTube and on my blog are still popping. and
I
still
remember.
valuable, you know.
I remember you had T-shirts because I was trying to get them before they sold out. I was so sad. Um, are you going to continue moving into that direction? Because I'm just, real quick, I just want to.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things about wearing so many different hats is that, you know, sometimes things fall off to the side as you focus on other things, but it is still there. Natural Attitude Apparel, the site is up. There are shirts on there.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and check because the thighs T-shirt. I was like, I need that.
Yeah, there are shirts on there, and I just have to. I'm really considering enlisting the help of someone to manage the shop because I really feel like I need to get some kind of help with the shop. Creating the graphics and everything for the t-shirts is fine. Like I have like a book full of graphics and everything, but to just actually sit down and monitor the site and do what I need to do, I just feel like I need somebody to help me with that. So that's what I'm exploring with it.
Yeah. The thing, yeah, I think outsourcing is something that I think a lot of people in the land of influencers, they don't understand that you're so used to doing everything yourself. You're your own editor, photographer, videographer,
Right.
everything that you're like, whatever, I can do this too. And then after a while you're like, never mind, this is harder. So I totally get it. All right, so this is the sad part. A lot of times I see on Twitter people talk a lot about influencers in a negative space.
Mm-hmm.
What is their problem? I'm just now noticing this. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why this is, but why are people such like haters for influencers?
Um, Unfortunately, there are influencers that, you know, do things that give all of us a bad rap, and just naturally people tend to generalize on a whole entire group of people. um yeah, I just think that they need to get an understanding that just because one person has done something that has rubbed you the wrong way, that doesn't mean that everybody is like that. There are people that genuinely partner with brands that they have consistently been using for as long as they've probably been alive as kids growing up. And you know, there are just some people that are in it and are willing to say, hey, buy this product, and then you'll never see the product again. um you know, but I just really try not to focus on that. I see those kind of posts on Twitter too, and I'm like, ew, and I just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
I just keep scrolling. Like, you know, you have to, and again, like, time is very valuable for me, and my peace, my inner peace, and what I put my energy into is just as valuable. So if I take on every single tweet that is speaking incorrectly about a general population of people, like, I'm going to be on Twitter all day, and that's time that I could have been using to write a blog post or writing my captions for the week. Like, I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time
Right.
for that.
Don't nobody got time to play with you and you playing in my face all day, chat. I understand that. That's facts. Trolling. How do you handle trolls? You just ignore them altogether?
I just ignore them. I look at them, recognize that they're trolling or they're doing some type of outrage marketing, because that is a thing. You know, it seems like positive attention, negative attention is all good attention. So I recognize it for what it is, probably give them a crappy face or look. And I just keep scrolling. Like, I be scrolling, just scroll right past it.
You are, yeah, that I'm not good at that yet. I will be one of the, I will. Well, and the thing is, I tell my clients not to do that, and they don't. But then me now, you come over here, I will ether you. I will have to shut you down. Right. I have to work on it. I gotta stop. One of these days, I will stop, but not yet. God is still working on us, so it's fine. What is your favorite social media platform and why? And then we can close out and you tell me where to find you.
I feel like I have a love and hate relationship with this platform, but I still want to say that it's my favorite, and that's Instagram.
Love, hate, why?
Because I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's my favorite when I'm minding my business. and I'm not, you know, getting into that zone of self-comparison and wondering why I can't get to where they are, or why is this happening so quickly for this person. When I'm focused on what I need to be doing and remembering my why, then I'm good. Like once I'm focused on who is engaging with me, who is constantly supporting me, who is reaching out to me and letting me know that that post that I sent has inspired them to try this style or to buy this item, and they feel so great. That's when I love Instagram. So
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I think Instagram is the thief of the inner peace, because I mean, my mom now, she does it all the time, and it sucks when I taught my mom about what I was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her you were on the show. I kid you not. She went on your page. She's like, she has more followers than you, and she has better pictures than you. And I'm like, bruh, like, ma, you can't do that. That's not how this works. And so she always, like, another influencer liked one of my posts. Christine, Stylish Curves.
Okay.
So she liked a couple of my posts, which she does on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother adores this woman. She watches everything she does on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok. My mother's on TikTok. I don't listen to that. We're not even going to talk about that. But she went in there, and so now, because she thinks she's so much more important than me, right, she believes that I've made it because Christine has liked my stuff. And I find it so frustrating, because it's like, you don't want to compare yourself, but then you've got your mom in your ear. Right. And I'm like, my mom is now buying into the same mess that like social media kind of creates. I don't feel the same about it, only because I have a whole other company that I have to manage for other people. But I have clients who do that all the time. Why is this person getting this and I'm not getting this? I do the same thing. And I have to remind them that authenticity is probably like your number one thing that you're not doing. If you're focused on like creating the image and creating the magic, people can see through that immediately. Because I realized when my stuff started growing, it came through when I was being my regular goofy self.
Yeah.
And I started putting clips of my hauls and falling over and hurting my ankles, you know, and now people are like, they're okay, we can watch her now. And I think that for me is what works. One of them, and then what I also learned is it'll be something that you did 6 months ago that will show up on someone's timeline 6 months later. And everyone sees it on that timeline, and then boom.
Yep.
You big time, everyone loves you, and you're like, I've been here, I've been out here, you guys are late. Welcome to the party, though. This is going to be fun. So I feel like that's going to happen for all of us, and I think that happens. I know it's happening for you, because I know I'm speaking that into existence, because I'm a fan. Bringing it in. All right, so tell the people where to find you.
You can definitely find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the different platforms. The same name, Fro Plus Fashion. My blog is also called froplusfashion.com. That's FROPLUSFASHION. I had to think about it. Yeah.
Fashion. You gotta do like in school. Fashion. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Shamika. I'm so thankful that you came on my show. I really am. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And for me, you guys already know what time it is. And as the YouTubers say, you know the vibes. I don't know why they say it, but I love saying it now. My daughter's sick of it. I am Nefertiti, aka the Plush Mommy. I am the Plush Mommy on all platforms. You can find It's Just Social Media on all of the major podcasting platforms: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and the like. And also, please make sure to subscribe, and find me on Instagram at The Plush Mommy. You can find me on Twitter at The Plush Mommy. TikTok is now my place to be at The Plush Mommy. And also YouTube, The Plush Mommy. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great day. Spread love. Bye-bye.